They say behind every perfectly rehearsed photo op and polished grin lies a twisted web of secret deals, stifled resentments, and hush-hush power plays. And if the rumors swirling around Rachel Zegler are to be believed, that web might be far thornier than we ever imagined. According to whispers making the rounds, Rachel has launched into blunt critiques about the most visible couple in the entire nation. Yes, the current president and the current first lady. If you thought their public appearances were all about harmonious handholding and unwavering loyalty, think again. Rachel has evidently declared that something is very off. She's allegedly hinting that there are cracks in that gleaming marriage facade, and as you'll soon discover, her accusations go far beyond anything you'd expect from a typical Hollywood commentary. So brace yourselves. This might not be the neat and tidy fairy tale we've been spoon-fed. If Rachel's remarks carry any weight, then we're about to witness the unraveling of a carefully protected power alliance. And guess what? It's every bit as outrageous as you'd hope. Keep watching, because the deeper we go, the more shocking it all becomes. It all kicked off in the most unlikely way. A hushed conversation behind closed doors in Los Angeles, or so the story goes. One of Rachel's acquaintances supposedly let slip that she'd heard the rising star mention the possibility of trouble in the White House marriage. The news spread like wildfire through a circle of gossip hounds, who wasted no time tossing out wild theories. Was the current president's relationship merely a glossy stage production? Were Rachel's claims based on actual insider knowledge, or was she just repeating hearsay? Nobody seemed entirely sure, but that didn't stop them from stoking the flames. Before long, the internet seized on the scandal. Hashtags popped up left and right, trending on social platforms. Podcasters dissected every single angle, from the alleged tension in private quarters to how the current First Lady might be reacting behind the scenes. People seemed addicted to the possibility that the most powerful couple in the country could be quietly unraveling. And at the very center of it all stood Rachel Zegler, outspoken and apparently unafraid to lob pointed accusations at the commander-in-chief. If these whispers were anything to go by, she wasn't content to just raise eyebrows. She aimed to blow the lid off what she considered a carefully orchestrated performance. Those first hints were enough to capture everyone's attention. The notion that a beloved actress would speak so boldly about the occupant of the Oval Office made headlines practically overnight. But that was just the appetizer. As more tidbits dripped out, it became clear that Rachel's rumored commentary was bigger, nastier, and more incendiary than the usual showbiz chatter. So buckle in, because what follows is a wild ride of alleged betrayals, cunning manipulation, and dramatic meltdown scenes. If you think you've heard everything, you have no idea. Speculation soon morphed into something far more cutting. Sources claimed Rachel was tired of the commander-in-chief's boastful public persona and wasn't afraid to call out how much of it might be a manufactured carnival show. Rumor has it, in private conversations, she labeled the occupant of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue a puppeteer of public opinion, painting him as someone who thrives on controversy and stirs the pot to keep the spotlight trained squarely on himself. Whether or not that's the exact wording, the gist is clear. She sees him as orchestrating distractions to mask deeper issues. Even more scandalous, certain reports say she hinted that the occupant's marriage is less about affection and more about convenience. Allegedly, Rachel labeled their relationship a merger of vanity, built on the idea that power thrives best when it has a glamorous partner to dazzle the media. These rumors are not for the faint-hearted. They suggest a transactional dynamic, with each partner playing a prescribed role in a grand production. If that's not enough to make you question every tender moment captured by cameras, Rachel's rumored jabs delve even deeper, accusing the occupant of using the current First Lady's image to soften his own blustering public persona. Have you ever suspected that the entire relationship might be a PR strategy? According to these allegations, Rachel does. It's bold, it's blistering, and it's more than enough to infuriate the occupant's most ardent defenders. Why is Rachel so certain of all this? That's a question fueling countless debates, with some suspecting she's gleaned inside intel from well-placed sources. Skeptics, on the other hand, dismiss her remarks as self-serving attempts to stay relevant. Could she truly have a window into White House affairs, or is she relying on gossip to feed her narrative? The online arguments rage on, with entire forums devoted to dissecting every single line she's rumored to have uttered. One thing's certain, this story is white hot, and it's only just warming up. You'd think that the occupant of the White House would be the main target of any big revelations. He is, after all, one of the most talked about individuals on the planet. But Rachel reportedly didn't pull any punches when it came to his spouse either. According to The Buzz, she has portrayed the current First Lady as a master of quiet maneuvering. Every bit as strategic as the president, maybe even more so. While official appearances show a polished, reserved figure, Rachel's alleged viewpoint suggests that behind the serene smile lurks a calculating mind, meticulously orchestrating the public's perception. There's talk that Rachel has been telling people the First Lady's outwardly gentle demeanor is an asset in deflecting blame whenever controversies blow up. One rumor claims Rachel bluntly stated that if anyone thinks the First Lady is merely a subservient partner, they're severely mistaken. Another rumor contends Rachel labeled her the ideal co-producer of a reality show disguised as a presidency, there to provide calm, elegant visuals while the occupant of the Oval Office wages his high-profile battles. Dramatic, isn't it? But that's just the tip of the iceberg. In some circles, folks have started believing the First Lady is more of a key player than anyone ever assumed, pulling strings of her own to maintain her power. Rachel's rumored commentary speculates the marriage is a fortress of coordinated PR, ensuring that no matter how tumultuous the occupant's statements get, their brand remains intact. If this is to be believed, the glamorous figure by his side isn't just following along, she's influencing the entire storyline. In that sense, the couple isn't just living in the White House, they're starring in an ever-evolving drama. Meant for the global stage, critics have lashed out, calling Rachel's remarks baseless or downright disrespectful. Supporters say she's simply telling it like it is. The public can't decide whether to label her courageous or reckless. But no matter how divisive her comments, one thing's certain. Her claims about the First Lady, if genuine, could change how people view the pair. Suddenly, the perfect union starts to look more like a shrewd alliance, and that's the kind of talk that sets tabloids on fire and sends fans scurrying to social media in search of the next juicy tidbit. If Rachel's alleged insights are to be trusted, the polished veneer that the White House couple presents to the world might be cracking faster than they can patch it up. One especially over-the-top rumor states that Rachel alluded to backstage tantrums, moments when the occupant of the Oval Office simply couldn't stomach her biting critiques. Some sources claim she's privately spoken of heated phone calls or confrontations, with staffers scrambling to smooth over the fallout. Imagine the occupant bellowing about loyalty and betrayal, while the First Lady stands by, cool as ice, making careful mental notes on how to control the story later. Still, Rachel's rumored claims don't stop at phone calls. Some talk about contradictory statements from the couple themselves. One day they boast about unwavering unity. The next day the occupant reels off a statement that contradicts the First Lady's carefully curated image. A swirl of leaked documents chatter has also emerged, with insinuations that privately recorded remarks or text messages may exist, though no one has provided definitive proof. Rachel, however, is said to be pointing to these intangible receipts as the reason she's so confident in her allegations. Whether these meltdown tales are real or just an exaggerated rumor ball, they feed perfectly into the sensational narrative. A White House on the brink, a powerful couple struggling to keep control, and a brazen actress daring to tear off the mask. Nobody can say for certain just how explosive these alleged meltdown moments truly are, but that doesn't stop the speculation. And boy, does that speculation keep piling on. You might wonder, why should anyone believe Rachel's statements at all? Critics are quick to point out that Hollywood is a hotbed for attention-seeking theatrics. Could she simply be drumming up public outrage for her own gain? Possibly. But rumors insist she's wielding more than mere words. Some claim she has a cache of bombshell evidence, including cryptic voice memos, suspicious DMs, and third-party accounts from individuals who've witnessed the cracks in the White House marriage firsthand. Word on the street is that Rachel has teased the existence of these documents during private conversations, with one informal slip supposedly revealing she's got enough to blow this wide open. What exactly is in these alleged recordings or messages? Nobody outside her inner circle can say for sure, but the mere suggestion has turned the online rumor mill into a frenzy, with everyone from seasoned journalists to enthusiastic fans speculating on what those files could show. Some folks imagine scandalous audio in which the occupant berates the current First Lady. Others predict messages exposing the couple's real motivations behind a public event. Rachel's rumored approach is to dangle these possible receipts, like carrots fueling curiosity but never quite handing them over. That tactic has amped up the drama, as supporters argue she's wise to protect her sources, while critics accuse her of peddling illusions. If you take the conspiratorial route, you might think she's playing a high-stakes game of chicken, forcing the occupant and his spouse to sweat under mounting public suspicion. After all, nothing spells trouble for any public figure like the uncertainty that damning evidence might pop up at any moment. So is she bluffing, or is she poised to shake the political realm to its core? The question lingers. One thinks. For sure, the buzz around this so-called evidence is too big to ignore. People are salivating for a glimpse of actual proof, and Rachel's potential bombshells could be the game-changer that transforms these rumors from gossip to unstoppable scandal. Stay tuned, because the drama is just getting started. If someone were hurling outrageous allegations at you on the biggest stage imaginable, you'd be hard-pressed to keep your cool. So how is the Commander-in-Chief supposedly responding? According to informal leaks, not well. Talk about a classic combination of fury and frantic damage control. Supporters inside his camp allegedly dismiss Rachel's claims as cheap stunts, while staffers remain tight-lipped, following a hush order to avoid fueling the fire. Publicly, there's silence, no official condemnation, no direct acknowledgement. But behind the scenes, rumor has it, the occupant is raging at the nerve of an actress to question the sanctity of his marriage, while the occupant scrambles for damage control. What's the First Lady doing? If you believe the rumor mill, she's playing her cards close to the chest. Publicly, she's a picture of cool composure, elegantly dressed, calmly smiling at official functions, showing zero sign of turmoil. But privately, if Rachel's claims are accurate, the First Lady might be orchestrating a quietly effective response. Some versions of the story hint that she's consulting with a circle of trusted advisors, plotting how to best neutralize Rachel's influence without giving the rumored scandal any unnecessary oxygen. Another angle swirling through the blogosphere is that the First Lady is quietly furious at how easily Rachel has pushed them into a corner. Some unverified sources even claim she's demanding that the occupant clamp down on these allegations once and for all. But publicly, the First Lady continues her well-rehearsed routine of gracious appearances, unwavering politeness, and well-coordinated wardrobes. After all, if you maintain that calm surface, maybe the storm passes by, right? So where does all this leave us? Rachel Zegler, once just another talented actress with a bright future, now finds herself at the center of a political and personal firestorm, hurling allegations that cast the world's most recognizable couple in a very unflattering light. The occupant of the White House, portrayed as an overconfident showman who thrives on spectacle, seemingly can't shake off these accusations without giving them more weight. The current First Lady, frequently dismissed as a quiet figure, emerges in these rumors as a potentially shrewd partner with her own strategies. Together, they might form an alliance far more transactional and carefully curated than we ever imagined. The craziest part? We still don't have conclusive proof, just a swirling mass of rumors, alleged insider tips, and Rachel's rumored vow that she can back up her claims. Will she ever drop the files she's teased, or is the threat of exposure enough to force changes behind the scenes? With each passing day, the tension rises, fueling speculation that maybe the occupant's carefully controlled narrative is on the brink of collapse. But here's the real kicker. Despite the chaos, no one in the White House has officially addressed these rumors in a direct, transparent manner. That absence of denial or confirmation keeps the talk raging. By refusing to speak out, the occupant and the First Lady might be betting that the public's short attention span will eventually move on. Yet Rachel Zegler's alleged determination to keep shining a bright, accusatory spotlight on their union could make that strategy impossible. In a world hungry for scandal, a provocative rumor rarely dies quietly. So yes, maybe the occupant's marriage is rock solid, or maybe it's a glass castle on the verge of shattering. Either way, if you listen to the buzz, Rachel's comments have already planted seeds of doubt that won't be easy to uproot. And that's where we stand, on the edge of a tabloid-saturated battlefield where a high-stakes showdown looms between a determined actress and the most powerful couple in America. Will Rachel Zegler emerge victorious, exposing hidden truths that shake the nation? Or will the occupant of the Oval Office and his spouse find a way to silence the chatter for good? For now, we're left with questions, and the possibility that the biggest bombshell has yet to drop. Stay alert, because when, or if, those rumored files surface, the entire landscape could shift overnight, and that carefully burnished marriage might never look the same again.